Japan says it will release more than 1 million tons of contaminated water from the destroyed Fukushima nuclear station into the sea.
Okay, so let's stop it right there. Now, I don't know if most of you understand how serious this is. This nuclear power plant, I've talked about this for 10 years. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant experienced a massive earthquake in Japan, March 11, 2011, a 9.0 earthquake. Now, the problem is that created a tsunami. It also, another problem is that the nuclear power plant on the coast of Japan is literally right on the ocean. And the plant is on a hill and water flows downhill. So they built these storage facilities to store contaminated radioactive water. And they'll downplay it in this and say, well, you know, it's releasing low levels of tritium and we're going to filter the water. Let me tell you something. You can't filter radioactive water. Fact. You can't. You can try and attempt to filter radioactive water, but you can't. So what we have here is an example of a situation where they're going to tell the public that, well, now we need to release 1 million gallons. But what most people don't know is TEPCO, Tokyo Electric Power Company, that owns that nuclear power plant, when there were 6 nuclear reactors fully functional, when March 11th, 2011 earthquake and tsunami hit, it destroyed 3 of those nuclear reactors, which was called China syndrome. China syndrome is when those nuclear cores get so hot, over 5,000 degrees, they literally melt right through their concrete cores. Pretty serious stuff. TEPCO has admitted they don't know where those cores are. Thus, also reactor number 4, the 3 that are still remaining are unstable. So they've been pumping, they admitted, actually it was back in 2013, TEPCO admitted that they were pumping over between 300 and 400 metric tons of radioactive waste into the Pacific every day. So this has been going on for about a decade. And now they're acting like, oh, we need to do this and empty out all these contaminated containers of waste because we're running out of room. No, they've been pumping radioactive water into the Pacific for almost a decade. So this just makes me even more angry and outrageous. Listen to this.
On Tuesday, the government announced a plan to begin releasing the water in about 2 years. The plant's operator, TEPCO, will filter the water to remove harmful radioactive isotopes. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga again made his country's argument that the water must be released to decommission the Fukushima plant.
We will secure safety that is far above the regulation standards, and the government as a whole will conduct exhaustive measures against harmful rumors.
Japanese Prime Minister saying we're going to have safety standards above the safety standards. Oh, God, if you believe that, man. Now, this should tell you something. Even Korea is pissed off about this. Their government said this is unacceptable. And I, for the first time in my life, agree with them. 100%. No doubt about this is unacceptable and irresponsible.
Into the ocean. But local fishermen have opposed dumping the water for years. And neighbours aren't happy either. China called the move extremely irresponsible on Tuesday, and spokesman for South Korea called the decision unacceptable.
I'm going to do a part 2 where I'm going to do a much more extended, detailed analysis to give you guys information you can back up, cross-reference, and also share that information to educate people about this. They're not telling you about strontium-90. They're not talking about cesium-134, cesium-137, and how dangerous those levels of radiation are. That's already been being pumped into the Pacific that TEPCO announced a couple years after, like I said, 2013-14, that said we have to pump 300 to 400 metric tons of radioactive waste into the Pacific because we don't have room. So what they're saying right here is a massive contradiction and 100% a bold-faced lie. They ran out of room a long time ago to store this contaminated water.
The Japanese government has been keen to stress the filtering and dilution processes.
Filtering and dilution processes. Again, I will say for the record, you cannot filter contaminated radioactive water. You can't. Would anyone like to line up and be the guinea pig and drink a glass of that water? I didn't think so.
Government spokesperson emailed media outlets on Monday to request the term contaminated not be used in reporting, arguing it was misleading.
So they're saying if you even try to challenge or even talk about contaminated water and say that it's you're misleading. They're saying that people are spreading false information if they say something like that. I mean, that's how insane this is. Japan was so serious about silencing the media and their government from speaking out about this that a year after Fukushima happened in 2012, they passed a law that any state official or media that speaks out, they said, disinformation or even gives information about the seriousness of the situation of them dumping radioactive wastewater into the Pacific on a daily basis, right? Especially to keep reactor number 4 cool because it's been on the brink of a meltdown. They said that they would give Japanese citizens 10 years, up to 10 years in prison for just speaking about Fukushima. Okay? Now that can everything I'm saying can be verified, all right? Fact check it and you'll see. So like I said, I will be doing a part 2 in much more detail, going back to when this event originated in March 11, 2011. But they ran out of room a long time ago, and now they're saying they're ready to dump millions of gallons into the Pacific. This is a very important issue. Please like and share, get it out there.